What's up, everyone? It's DeagleBeagle. So today we're gonna go over Glastrier, whatever, and figure out how to use it. So let's do what? Let's do the switch one because it'll show the Terra types, so that's more useful. So Terra Water Glastrier is used more than any other Terra by far, which I find a little surprising. You would think ice would be way more common to get that extra powerful icicle crash, but water does make sense, but people spam Terra Water way too much. That's why I was using Pokemon like Reg D, or that's why Rillaboom is really good too, because people just spam Terra Water on everything to just make it take neutral or resistant from most things, but it is good against its fire weakness, but we'll look at other possible Terra types depending on what it's weak to. So Ghost is logical because it's weak to fighting. They use Dragon. Well, Dragon is resistant to fire and a few other types, so maybe. And then Ground is probably used mostly to boost up the Stomping Tantrum. Fire probably to not get Will-O-Wisps. I don't know why they would use Poison. I suppose just because it's a good defensive typing in general, and it's resistant to fighting, which it's weak to. And then Fighting is probably used mostly as an offensive Terra to boost up close combat. Same with Terra Ice. And Psychic, that does resist fighting. Now, I think there's just a few weird people that wanted to try something different. Or they're using Zen Headbutt. I don't know. But that's probably not almost anyone. So, if you're using Assault Vest, use these 4 moves. You could use Terra Ice. Either that or some other offensive Terra, probably, if you're using it in Trick Room. But you could use a defensive Terra if you're not trying to knock out everything before the 5 turns are over. It depends on what kind of team you have. But Glastrier, if you're not, Glastrier might be the wrong Pokemon if you're trying to do that whole just sweeping 5 turns thing. But if you're using it late game, or starting with Trick Room and using fast Pokemon in the back, it can be pretty good. So as far as what Terras you can use on it, well, first we should go to the typing chart. What super affects Ice? Fire, Fighting, Rock, and Steel. So what would be a good Terra to wall those? Well, Water would be pretty decent. Ghost would be decent. Even Steel or something. That Steel is still weak to fire. So yeah, probably not Steel. Fire, Water is fine. I probably wouldn't use Dragon, but maybe. And then Terra Rock, nah. Water seems fine, or Ghost. So, up to you. I might actually want Ghost because of all the fake out and extreme speed nonsense. So, just having that could be pretty good. Or, like I said, an offensive Terra if you're using it in Trick Room. You don't have to use Assault Vest on it, though. You can use Choice Band. You can use Life Orb. But it's all kind of variations of the same thing. It's a Pokemon that's good in Trick Room. You get the boost. It has good stats. It does have typing that's not defensively the best, but there's ways around that with a defensive Terra. And what am I missing? Oh, it's supposed to be Life Orb, but Terra Water and other ones are fine too, just letting you know. Heavy Slam, what is that super effect? Fairy Rock, and what was the other one? Ice, Fairy Rock and Ice. I don't think there's a lot of ice types right now. Because, well, I mean, there's, Chi and Pal, but that's going to die from another move. It has, like, close combat, so that's not that relevant. Same with Bundle. That's not a pure ice type either. Like, it's part water, which resists a lot of what it would have been weak to. Or not a lot of it, but some of it. And yeah, there's just not a lot of ice Pokemon. Yeah, so the other way you could use, well, there's not many other ways. Clear Amulet, I guess, is fine. It is the most common item. Life Orb left, yeah, our weakness. People used to use weakness policy a lot with it and self-proc it with the Shadow Sneak Mimikyu or whatever. You could do a cheeky strategy like that. So either weakness policy or clear amulet is fine. By the way, on the Life Orb set, that's what I was trying to figure out, if you should keep Stomping Tantrum or Heavy Slam, which one you should get rid of for Protect. If you have Life Orb and you're not locked in with a choice item, you would probably want Protect. You can't use Protect on the Salt Fest one either. So Heavy Slam is good for not really Flutter Mane because, well, a little bit, but Icicle Crash will already do a lot to it. But yeah, if you're intimidated or who knows what, you don't want to miss the Icicle Crash, then Heavy Slam is fine, especially if they're really bulky. But I think even if they're really bulky, they would probably still die. Well, maybe barely not, since it doesn't get stabbed unless you use Terra Steel. So Heavy Slam. Heavy Slam, yeah, Grimmsnarl and maybe Screamtail, but there's not a ton of Pokemon besides Flutter Mane that you would actually use it for. What was the last one? Rock? So Tyranitar, you're not going to use it for because you're just going to close combat it. Same with probably Arcanine, which is only neutral to it. Yeah, I don't know about Heavy Slam, but then Stomping Tantrum, the ground coverage might be pretty useful to super affect what? Fire, electric, poison, rock, steel. Yeah, well, even though fighting kind of does that, but Stomping Tantrum might be better than Heavy Slam if you only get 3 attacking moves, but not necessarily. It depends on your team. So this is one idea, or a few ideas, on how to run Glastrier. Like I was saying, you could use a different Terra like Water, and or use like Weakness Policy or Clear Amulet. So this Pokemon's pretty straightforward as to how you should use it. I just don't really like Icicle Crash missing, and I was using Abomasnow, but Abomasnow doesn't have the coverage that Glastrier does. Like, Glastrier can close combat the Heatran, which is like one of the most common ice resistances, so not bad at all. And it's pretty good because the main intimidator right now is 4 times weak to ice landers, and a lot of them use Terra flying anyways. So there's that. If you, by the way, another offensive Terra idea might be like Terra Blast with Terra Grass, and that way you can hit like water types as well, or Terra water types. So just some ideas. Thanks for watching.